Welcome, everyone, back to another episode on the Symphony of Success podcast. Today, we have the writer of Elf, David Berenbaum. Welcome and good morning, David.
Good morning. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me,
Of
guys.
course.
Yeah, so our first question, we're going to dive into your upbringing and where you grew up, if you want to dive a little bit into that.
Absolutely. Born in Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. As Roman knows, we're a big fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, Sixers,
Yep.
Flyers, everything here, as I've raised my children to be. And after Philadelphia, I went to film school at NYU. And
Wow.
It's a great
then,
school.
yep, great school. And then after that, I came out here to LA, and where I met Roman when he was born.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, we used to live right next to each other, the house literally next door to me.
Wow.
It's
correct.
pretty cool,
For a
yeah.
long time. So Roman knows my kids very, very, very well.
Yeah. So when you were in high school, were you like into film at all? Like how did, you get into writing and film in general?
Great question. Yes, I was very, very into film from, a super young age. Always loved movies, just watch them, constantly. We had HBO from a very early age, so I would, make my viewing times. They gave out little monthly things of when things would be on, so I'd make a notation when I had to be there for a certain movie, and I watched them again and again and again. And my older brother had a Super 8 and a Super 8 projector. And so when he went off to college to NYU, um, I would make little Super 8 films from the time I was, I would say, 12 or so. And it was a very good introduction to making movies. Now you guys have access to your phone, which
Right.
is you can experiment all you want. When I was growing up, you would shoot and then you drop it off at like a Kodak box, and they would develop it like wait a week later. So it was very exciting, but also very, did you get the shot? How was the light? What was going on? So it was a process, and I loved it.
Who were some of your inspirations growing up?
I grew up in the Amblin age, so
Mm-hmm.
it was always Spielberg, always Lucas, it was always those guys. So I loved their movies growing up very much. The Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, Gremlins,
Great
Goonies.
movies.
I just dug them, and I just lived my life in them basically.
Nice. So, I guess skipping a few years here, John Favreau, the director of Elf, why John Favreau out of all directors?
He was the right guy.
What about him specifically made him right?
He came in with the exact right, uh, take of the movie. He came into a pitch meeting with the producers with, a book from Rankin and Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that's the way he visualized the movie. He was, he's a guy who's, was a comedic director. He had only done Made at that point, but he told his comedy through his characters. He was very honest with his characters, and with Elf, it was the only way to tell a story, tell it very straight. That you have ordinary people in an extraordinary situation, and to just have everyone sort of just all the actors and all the characters just sort of playing off of Will's
Right.
insanity was the only way to play that comedy, and that's why John was the absolute right pick for the movie.
That's
Yep.
incredible. What inspired you to create it and write Elf?
Well, I had just gotten to LA, and Elf was my second script. It was, I was sort of missing the East Coast, and I had steeped myself in Christmas movies for whatever reason. I missed the winter, the East Coast. Obviously, out here in LA, you're not getting that at all. So I just watched those movies again and again and again, um, and I sort of formulated a path of what made these movies special that you see every year. It's a Wonderful Life,
Mm-hmm.
Miracle on 34th Street. Certainly the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from '64. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Chuck Jones. Like all these things, and I came up with the idea for the movie of a human raised in the North Pole, and I thought that was a comedic concept. And then once I found the emotional through line of him dealing with his father, that was the movie to me. And then I really leaned on the movie Big with Tom Hanks, which I loved, as sort of a paradigm of how to tell a story of an innocent coming to Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your techniques and skills you would use to write a script? What are David Berenbaum's ways of conducting a well-written script?
Prayer. No. Well, that and I don't know if I have any techniques. I just kind of have an idea that I like, start exploring that idea, see if that idea has what it takes to be a movie with characters that you'll want to keep coming back to. If it's emotional enough, if it's funny enough, um, and then just start building it out and seeing if it feels like something that will sustain. I don't really outline so much. I just kind of like have a lot of things I want to see in a movie. Um, and if they start building and building and then things start connecting, whether it's comedically or emotionally, then I'll know I'll have something, and I'll just start building and throwing down, and eventually I'll have something, and I'll start showing to people, and then if people connect with what is written, then I'll know it's something that can sort of go out and see if other people are interested.
What was your definition of success at 18?
Good question. Just to make movies. That was really. I just wanted to do it. I didn't know how or why or in what facet. I wasn't really, going to be a writer per se. I was more, making movies when I was at NYU.
Were you?
I was into the process, and one thing led to the next, and I didn't really have a lot of dough when I came out here, but I had a little computer, and I knew I could write stories that way.
So, Elf grossed approximately 200 and I think it was 230 million, and it's the fourth most popular Christmas movie of all time. Did you ever?
Really, what are the top three?
Yeah.
Who beat us out?
I actually don't know off the top of my
Oh
head.
well, then I don't buy it. Come at me again.
Top five. It's in the top five. I'll
All
tell you
right,
that.
whatever.
Did you ever think it would perform that great? Like it's personally it's my favorite Christmas movie. I watch it dozens of times during the holidays. It never gets old.
No, I had no idea. We had no idea. I mean, thankfully it got into the right hands with the producers of John Berg and Todd Komarnicki, and they really believed in it from the beginning and got it to the right people. Um, and any movie that gets made is a bit of a miracle in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
It's really you have to really jump through a million hoops to get anything there. So the fact that this not only got through those hoops but turned into what it is today is quite a miracle. You know, and you know, I think it had all the elements. And then when you add, you know, Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau and all the
Incredible. Yeah.
producers, you know, who made it into what it is today. And yeah, it is quite a Christmas miracle.
How did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer inspire writing Elf?
Well, it was very much just the initial seed of the idea where, you know, Rudolph was a misfit. He had a red nose and he didn't fit in, and he went off to, you know, find out who he was. He went on a little adventure, and that's the same thing with this. I just thought of like a, you know, a human who was like 6'3" and living in an elf's world. You know, he thought he had a hormonal disorder. He was really an elf, but it wasn't that. So he didn't fit in. He was a bit of a misfit, and he went off to find out where he really fit in the world. So it was really a one-to-one sort of thing. That was really the initial nugget of the idea that I just sort of filled out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you believe was the cause of the upward trend in your career?
uh, you, you know, uh, you know, putting in the time, you know, just, you know, really writing a ton, luck, meeting the right people at the right time, you know, just hanging in there, sort of, and just, you know, writing some scripts that, you know, that got me in the door. You know, Elf before it was made, you know, got me, you know, a ton of meetings, and it got me a job writing for Disney for 2 years.
Wow.
So it really, before it became what it was and what it is, you know, it opened the script itself opened a ton of doors where it got me employed, which was, you know, it's always the goal when you write a spec. Like, okay, it would be great if this sold, but can this, you know, can I show this to people where we will employ me? And that's exactly what that script did.
That's awesome.
How many rough drafts went into writing Elf? How many times did you
Yeah.
throw out the paper and be like, I have to start over?
Yeah, like is the movie Elf, you know, as we know it today, was that the original idea?
The original story was there, but it went through, you know, me myself, it went through you know, a bazillion before I even showed it to anyone, and then it, you know, developed from there, and it went
So
through,
cool.
you know, yeah, you know, everything evolves constantly.
100%. So, I want to segment into a little bit of, you know, personal, I guess, failures, struggles you may have had.
Oh, I'm familiar with that. Yes,
Yeah.
go on.
So, have you experienced any major failures? And I mean, what did you learn from them?
No failures. Yes, tons of failures. Yeah, I mean, that's just the name of the game out here. And I'm sure with any business, but yeah, I mean, as a, you know, a writer or a wannabe filmmaker, all there are roadblocks.
Right.
So, you know, the system is not game for easy way in, and you're just, you know, there is no one way in. So yeah, it was constantly, you write something you think it'd be great, and it go to one person, they think it's great, and then go up the ladder, and then you kind of run into a brick wall. You know, you run into a brick wall more often than not. That's just kind of what it is, especially in Hollywood, where, you know, it's just you gotta kind of have to face the fact that, you know, you're gonna have to have a bit of a thick skin to, you know, be in it. But if you're in it long enough, you meet the right people. There, you have a support system where, you know, you can talk about your failures, sort of laugh at them, and move on to the next thing. Because if you keep going, and you believe in yourself, then something eventually, hopefully, comes through. And, you know, there's a lot of dark days and dark nights when you're sort of running out of cash, and you're thinking, maybe this isn't the right path. But for me, I didn't really have another path. There was really no plan B.
Wow.
So I was sort of all in. So that my general stupidity probably helped matters
Do you
in the
think
long
it's
run.
important? Do you think it's important to go all in, kind of burn the boats if you want to achieve your goals?
I think it's important to really want to do it. I mean, if we're talking specifically about being in Hollywood, if you're really, really passionate about it and you can't see any other way, then I would say to people, just go for it then. But if you're like sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, probably not the best career path because
Yeah.
there's a lot of pitfalls. But if
Mhm.
this is what you want to do, then just you know go for it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you share a story about a time you felt like giving up but chose not to?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I came out to LA in like late 93, I want to say. So,
Okay.
so I was basically just writing and writing and writing for years and years and churning out stuff. When I first got to LA, it was told to me like, you should just try TV. TV is a lot easier to break into. So I wrote a bunch of TV specs, which got me, immediately an agent and a manager. But then nothing came of that. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna write movies, which is sort of what I came out here to do. And I wrote actually the first script I wrote was another Christmas script. It was a romantic comedy, and then I wrote Elf, and but in between there was just tons of false starts, and the first script certainly opened up doors for me. Met a ton of people, um, but there was no paying gigs, so you're taking odd jobs. I worked in a lingerie factory with a friend's dad.
Wow.
I worked at a video game company testing video games. Even though I had really no interest in video games, but great people there. And just tons of like little things here and there to keep the rent happening. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of like you're sort of alone in a room, so there's a lot of times to just think about you know what am I doing?
Yeah.
But you know, with these crazy ideas. But I really enjoyed the characters I was writing. I really enjoyed the stories I was trying to tell. So they kind of kept me afloat. I had a really good support system of friends out here, and just kept kind of powering through.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish you had known earlier in your career that would have helped you maybe progress faster?
I don't know. I mean, just that you just gotta have your eyes wide open, and that it's just like you got to know what you're getting into. That it's not going to be
Right.
overnight success are very, very, very rare.
Yeah.
And you gotta just I would just say just be ready for the long haul and just be ready to strap it up and get in there and take your licks and just come to play. And that's and if you really dig it and you really believe in it, like I love movies, and they kind of like they raised me in a way, and I was immersed in it for such an early age that I could not envision like ever doing anything else. So uh I don't know what I would tell myself other than just hang in there, and something eventually will pop.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on people like following their passion? Do you believe that people should follow their passion no matter what, even if there's not a ton of money in the business or whatever that passion may be?
Yeah, 100%. That if you're following what you want to do, you'll be happy because you'll be doing what you want to do, whether you know money comes with that or not. No one can really say. But if money wasn't really the ultimate thing for me. I just wanted to be in the movie business somehow. Um, and you know, if you're following what you want to do, then there's no. It's a great life. You're doing what you want to do. If you want to like be in a rock band and you enjoy being in a rock band, then you're gonna dig getting on stage and playing with your people and doing stuff like that. And maybe
Yeah.
you'll have to do something on the side to like make some dough and but uh yeah, and just follow your compass where you want to go. I mean, there's no other really way. Like you guys are, you know, uh, want to, you're wearing suits and ties on a Saturday morning. You guys are driven clearly to be in business or whatever you want to be in. So it's like that focus and that drive that'll, kind of be your North Star to get to wherever you want to go or wherever fate may bring you.
Yeah. Do you have any habits or routines that led you to your success that you feel led
Well,
you?
habits and routines now versus when I was a young dude are way different. When I was out here, I didn't have kids, I didn't have a family, and so I would just sort of burn them. I would just go at it every day, and just write as much as I could until I was bleary eyed, and just pop it out as fast as I could, and then rewrite and rewrite. And now, there's lots of other things happening where that's not going to happen. So, I'm trying to be in there, 5 days a week, um, in the hours that I can give it, and I'm still, hitting the deadlines, but it's not as 24 hours a day as it once was.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you stay motivated to work 24 hours a day for as long as you did?
Well, I wouldn't say it was 24 hours, but it was every day until I couldn't do it.
I mean, especially during, those hardships that you had, the low points, like how did you stay motivated?
Just I just wanted to do it. I was
Loved it that much.
I like the characters and I like the stories,
Right.
and that helps immensely. And I can sort of see what it possibly could be. So I wanted to get it there, and I wanted to serve the characters, and I wanted to, they were entertaining me. So I wanted to sort of be with them, and I wanted to sort of get them through their journey to get them to where they um, hopefully would wind up. I mean, it was, you're also like I'm having movies in the back of my ear while I'm watching these things, so you're sort of living in an imaginary world, which is better than uh, you know, sort of running out of money and you know eating poorly. So the scripts were a sort of a refuge in a way. So it wasn't that much work as it was like I enjoyed what I was doing.
How did you manage family time, spending time with family, and writing in the same day? How would you allocate those?
You mean right now?
Yeah. Or when you first had kids?
Yeah, like personal versus professional life.
Yeah, personal.
Well, I mean, it's a balance, and I spend as much time which with my kids as I possibly can, and we hang out all the time. So they're when they're in school, I'm working, and then I have the flexibility now to be able to go to their games and as much as I possibly can. So now it's like I have a flexible job where I can put in hours. I know what deadlines I have to hit. So if I have to hit it hard one week, I will. If I have to work on the weekends, I will. Just to as long as you're making your deadlines, that's what people care about, and that it's good what you're giving them, more that it's good what you're giving them. So So this job now allows me the flexibility to hang out with them as much as I possibly can. So
Okay.
it's great.
What does money mean to you? Does it give you the flexibility to do whatever you want? Does it give you more time?
Well, money is good, um, and living life in Los Angeles is sort of
It's
a
expensive.
with a family. Yes, things add up.
Yep.
So yeah, it allows you to live a life. I mean, this is not something I was really thinking about coming out to LA. That was not in my view in any way, shape, or form. But now that you know, uh, you the practicality of paying for stuff, it just helps you, live a life that you want to live. And now I get to kind of like, you know, be involved with movies and write movies and see them develop and also, hang out with a great family.
What's one piece of advice that you didn't learn from school?
I would say just the practical nature of the business. I was not fully aware of when I came out to LA. I was, you know, the great thing about NYU is they just sort of gave you a camera and you just made movies. So you made your mistakes and you learned by making the mistakes and you came and used, all their equipment and, edited and made films with your friends and all great fun. And then, we're exposed to movies that you would never have been exposed to. So that was a great learning. The on the business side, you know, I wasn't really well versed in that. So that was more uh, learning, um, trial by fire sort of learning.
Yeah.
Um,
Can you share
yeah.
any memorable experiences from NYU?
No, like I said, I mean, my memories from NYU were just like sort of grabbing a camera. I upgraded from my Super 8 of high school to 16 millimeter in college, and was just sort of making movies all the time. It was good fun. Um, and yeah, just made a ton of stuff, and met some very like-minded people there, and had a good time.
What drove you to change the name from Christmas in New Jersey to Elf?
Well, Christmas in New Jersey was the first script I wrote, and then Elf was the second script. So two
Yeah.
different things. So no name change.
Okay.
Gotcha. So I want to again shift into maybe a little bit of reflection and looking into the future. Um, how do you celebrate your successes and your accomplishments?
I, have you met my kids? Yeah, they're not celebrating my.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. We're not having parties. The success is that I get to keep doing it.
Right.
Like that's the main thing to me, that I get to keep working with cool people and keep telling stories. That's really the success. Beyond that, that I can live in LA and have a great family, and that's about it.
Do you ever want to retire?
No,
No.
I don't know what I would do. I mean, no, I mean, it's fun to come back here and play and in my little office and
Yeah.
come up with stuff, and I wouldn't know what to do with myself besides watch the Eagles and the Phillies and the Flyers and the Sixers. But I do that now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You love writing. Like that's
Well, I love
Is it the creative
I,
aspect of it that you like so much?
well, I love having written. Sometimes writing can be hard. It can be it can it can be tough putting these things together. But I love the idea of starting off a movie, and kicking things off, and then getting into other people who are creative, whether it be producers or directors or actors, and then collaboration is great. If you have the right collaborators, that's sort of the name of the game. That's where it's fun. That's where it's like you're throwing things around. Okay, you have a script, but now we're gonna shape it and take it in unexpected directions. And yeah. But I forgot the question. But yes.
Okay. I mean, to this day, how do you handle like setbacks and keep moving forward? How do you keep improving?
How do you keep improving? I just keep going at it, man.
Just keep going
Just
at it.
there's gonna be, you're gonna write stuff. It's not great. You're gonna revise it. You're gonna revise it again. That's what it is. It's just constantly going back in and improving. That's the name of the game.
How do
And
you avoid burning out?
you have great friends, you have a great family. It's just, now there's a good balance of like things to take your mind off things, and when you come back to write, you're sort of renewed, and you hopefully bring it a new perspective on things. I'm not the person that I was when I was like 23 and I came out here as to who I am now. So you have a new perspective on things. So hopefully you can add layers as you grow and you change.
What's one piece of advice you can give about hard work and success to, Jaden and I and everyone watching?
Um, yeah, if you believe in something, um, I think you should just sort of go for it, and believe in yourself, and know that there'll be storms along the way. But if you have that, vision of this is what I want to be, this is the direction I know I'm meant to be doing, then you can weather the storms. And, you can get to the other side. And whatever the other side is, you don't quite know, but you'll learn, and you'll grow on the journey to getting there, and you'll meet, mainly you'll meet a lot of great people along the way who have the same sort of interests that you do, and together, you can get there. And it's better when you do it with people who can provide you with a great support system to weather the storms, where you can laugh at it and like say, all right, well, that didn't work out. That blew up in my face, but you know what? I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to go in this other path where I've learned, I poured this chemical with this chemical and it blew up. So I'm not going to do that again. You know what? I'm going to put this chemical in and I'm going to put something else in. And it didn't blow up this time, so I'm making progress. And you make progress one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and then hopefully you're getting somewhere where you're having satisfaction to where you're going. And then the end product is whatever it's going to be. But if you're having fun along the ride, then who cares?
I like that. That was very well said.
Well said.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I should write that down.
Make it quick.
100%. I mean, what advice would you give to someone who, I guess, doesn't necessarily know what they want to do in life? They're kind of lost in finding maybe even a passion or something to make money in. What would you...
Lack of purpose.
Lack of purpose. What would you say to that?
I think, a lot of kids your age don't exactly know what they want to do or what they want to go into. I think that's, more common than not. I think it's rare when people know exactly what they want to do. So I just follow all paths, and like what interests you, and what do you have fun doing, and that just try everything. Try everything, and then one thing will spark some interest, and you'll go, oh, that's kind of cool. Let me see more about that. Um, and then because everyone's interested in different things, different levels of interest. So I would just say try everything possible, and then see what shakes out. Go to if you can go to college, take every class, see what sparks your interest. You know, um, and eventually something will trigger something in you, and you'll start going down that road.
Yeah. So David, this was amazing, and we always ask everyone that comes on our show, what was their symphony of success? And that would be when did you say I'm successful? What defined that success for you? What was your symphony of success?
The success is that I just can keep doing it. That's the ultimate prize, and that I'm involved in various different movies and various different stages, and I can keep I'm a part of it. That's the success. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I wanted to professionally be. I just wanted to be a part of the fabric of making movies, and I am. And then and the success more than that is as I've said, have a great family, have great friends, and that's the name of the game at the end of the day. So that is the success. And then the film stuff is like I'm still in it, and I'm still doing it, and I still have stories to tell and something to say, hopefully, and still have characters that will affect people in some way, shape, or form. And that's really it.
Are we going to be seeing another type of movie like Elf anytime soon?
I, maybe. Who knows? There's things being done. I don't know about an Elf 2. I don't know if that's in the cards at any point, but there are other interesting stories that might come your way.
Well, with a creative genius like you, we'll be looking forward to whatever
Yeah.
you do next.
Well, thanks, guys. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
Thank you for your time.
Starting
Yeah.
morning with you.
it was a pleasure.
I appreciate you getting dressed up for me.
Of course.
Yes, that made me feel good, and I apologize for my attire. And
No
yep,
worries.
I'll see you guys soon, Roman. I'm sure I'll see you very soon.
Very soon. All
All right,
right.
great. Thanks, guys.
Have a great rest of your day, David. Thank you.